Hello, VOD watchers. Welcome in to part 18 of Cyberpunk 2077 with a therapist. I appreciate you taking the time to make it over here and that you have made it far enough into the run that you're at part 18. It really means a lot. It is true, there is daylight behind me. I'm doing this during a reasonable hour stream that you can usually catch on Thursdays around 1 p.m. Pacific time. Would love to have you join. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please take a second to do that. Turn on notifications so that you can know when I'm going live, and join the Discord because that's where I post announcements about going live and any schedule adjustments that there are. We have a really amazing community here that I hope you'll get an opportunity to hang out with sometime live. Please take a second to like the video as well. Those of you that become members, you tip or buy merch while I'm offline. I appreciate that immensely. I'll also remind you that there is a unlisted VOD playlist where you can watch these episodes with chat attached to it. If you're curious about what chat's saying while I play the game, by all means feel free to look that up. But there's also the curated playlist, which is most likely where you're watching this. I do appreciate you supporting my content immensely. Leave me a comment. I love reading them. I don't respond to all of them, but I do read all of them, and they're a lot of fun for me to read. I just ask that you please not spoiler backseat in those comments. And yeah, it's really great to have you aboard. Here's hoping 18 is just as awesome as 17 was, because 17 was a great ride. Who knew that you could have so much come out of side quests? But here we are. Alrighty. Oh yeah, I will also remind folks that if at any point during these playthroughs you become distressed by what's happening in the game, I encourage you to take a break, pause the stream, do what you got to do to take care of yourself. There's absolutely no shame in that. I don't quite know how these work, so I'm gonna do one of these just to see. It's my car. That's over around the corner. There we go. Yeah, right. It's pretty heavy stuff, Has. Which quest hit you harder, the Monk's quest or the Twisted Father-Son bonding quest? Honestly, probably the Monk. But they were both terrible. I don't even know that it's worth comparing them. They both were really nasty. Oh, you would turn left. God damn it. My bad. I really thought that guy was going to go straight. Where's the radio? Why is the radio not on? There we go. I thought it seemed a little quiet. Judy, what's up?
Hey, V. Michael called. Before sundown, out front of the Mega Tower. Gonna be there?
Of course I will.
See you then.
Oh, damn. Okay. Neutralize any ongoing threat and secure the evidence. So I'm supposed to take all these people out, I assume? That's what this is? With my ridiculous sniper. Oh man, these guys are all like just passed out. I'm about to like roll up on them with a sniper rifle. What a way to wake up. Don't mind me. Ideally, I will take all of these people out silently, but I don't know if that's gonna really... He says as he then needs to take that guy's head off.
Fucking taking out our best!
Oh.
See that? Hate up all my leg! He's killing us off!
Y'all don't stand a chance. Yeah. Oof. Sorry, chooms. Slaughterhouse jerky. I'm not really into that. Oh shit. What is going on here? Look, I don't know which one of you gonks sunk those wheels, but I know one thing. If the merch isn't here tomorrow morning, it's full and bone dry. All you shitheads are gonna be shitting lead. I guess I don't really care much about that. This was not as exciting as I thought it was gonna be. This feels like your standard kind of, Are you in your 50s, 60s, even your 70s, but still want to look like you did in your teens? And do you crave the eternal youth of the Arasakas, but can't afford the implants? We've got a solution. One a day, Pewteramics will slow the effects of aging, helping you look even 20 years younger. You're just one small capsule a day away from enjoying your natural beauty to its fullest, even into old age. Pewteramics is completely safe to use. Studies have shown it to be over 95% effective. What does that even mean? How do you even quantify that? Incredible! I'm 68 years old and I don't look a day over 40. One of our many satisfied customers. All my wife's friends constantly asked how she bagged her cougar self such a young husband. You should see her face when she tells them that I'm actually old enough to be her father. Another satisfied customer. Don't bother getting an expensive new faceplate. Invest in your stunning natural beauty. Yikes. Now, I know I made this point a little bit earlier on in this run, but when you see advertisements like this, particularly when they're advertised on like publicly available channels, there is a message that is underneath the message. That message here is that you should want to look young. That if you look old, that's a problem. And this is a problem that we're solving with our product. In a one-off, that's not necessarily bad, but when you start to see consistent messages about how to reverse aging, whether it's through implants or pills or whatever it might be, the subliminal message in that is you should start denying your development. Like, you should start making sure that you do not engage in being old, because that is undesirable and is thus a problem, and now we can fix it. That gets into people's heads. It's why advertising is important beyond just the product it's selling. It creates the culture of messages that people buy products off of, and it creates the problems that people try to solve. In some cases, it's not even a problem. It's just trying to sell a product. A certain corpo entered the net one night when suddenly everything glitched and he encountered a red demon who said, "Tomorrow at midnight, you will be dead." Corpo did not place any faith in the threat and slept soundly that night after leaving the net. The next day, he went to work and returned home and nothing bad happened. But the next morning, his daughter went to wake him up. His optical implants were burned out. His entire body was scorched and cut in half. If you break this email chain, the same thing will happen to you tomorrow at midnight. If you send this to only 3 people, the demon will hurt someone you love. If you send this to 15, the demon will follow you on the net for the next 5 days but do nothing to you. If you send this to all of your contacts, your biggest dream will come true. It's true. Happened to my uncle. Sorry to send this to you, but someone sent it to me first. It sounds silly, but forwarding this email will save your life. Oh my god. I remember those types of things back in Facebook. Facebook's changing their privacy policy. You just got to do this. Oh my god. Alright, these guys were doing some pretty awful shit, it seems. Alright, well that was, oh, what is this? Reported crime. Don't forget the parking brake. Go to the sunken van. Wait, so we did get something. Tiger Claw's reinforced tactical harness. And a message. Ooh. Alright, so wait a minute. Maybe this was worth it. I don't like how glitchy this gets when I go underwater. New message. Well, girl, you're gonna have to eat your words. I did it. Van runs like a dream. You just sit on the couch, press a button, and off she goes. Press another and she parks. Can do a whole job without leaving home. Just you wait. Soon enough, you'll be asking me to put one in your ride. Is that right? Ew, maybe not. Maybe not, Chief. This harness isn't even as good. Alright, let's get out of here. Someone pressed the wrong button indeed. Oops. Client wants you to steal something. Alright, let's go. See, it's funny because these steal something quests seem so benign, and then last episode we get where we're stealing like literal BDs of children being murdered. It's terrible, man. What's up, cops? Another van. It's the second van in a row. I've hit at an intersection. God damn it. Why do the cops hate me so much? I didn't even do anything bad there. I just literally drove past them. Is this Grand Theft Auto? See, the Stig has endured until the year 2077. Hell yeah. Apparently they do have time for traffic accidents, right? Is that what their investors are wanting? Is for them to just deal with traffic? Alright, here we go, Regina.
Yo, V, there's this badge. He needs help with his investigation. Guy's known for operating in the gray zone. No scruples about working with mercs. Attach more deeds for you.
Okay. Client is Aaron McCarlson, NCPD Sergeant. Used to work for me as a consultant on the show Cops and Chops, 8 seasons, and is asking for a favor. Aaron's been digging into Maelstrom for a while now. Those are the people that did the bad things to the monk. Says he found the warehouse where they torture people. But you know how it is for badges. Law slows them down with mountains of paperwork, so if they want to get something done, they have to get creative. Yeah, God forbid we have accountability processes. Aaron knows that, which is why instead of waiting for fat-ass judges to grant him permission, he wants to get help from a contractor. Job's simple. Get into the warehouse, coordinates attached, steal the security cam footage, and bring it back to Aaron. Should be enough to push his case through, and if you happen to shoot a few Maelstromers along the way, well, shit happens, right? The world won't be worse out without them, that's for sure. Not exactly the attitude I would want to have a police officer with that, but we do have to take into context that Night City has a lot of corruption and a lot of issues with the police force being privatized in the way that it is. So I am a little bit more willing to go and do stuff like this in a way that I would not generally be. Yeah, policing for profit, exactly. Not a great look. I go into all of these basically wanting to be more stealthy, and I just end up not being stealthy. It's not great. Come here. Get in there. Hey, Martin. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right, we're good.
Stand here. The sun is down, but I hope you're still up. Is it a mirage? A hologram?
I'm gonna wait for this guy to turn around, and then I'm gonna climb up on the roof. I'm gonna take him out. We're gonna do this the proper way. Yeah, pretty much, free meals. Yeah, we the police are a publicly traded stock option in Cyberpunk 2077, which is terrifying to imagine. Oh, he's up there. Okay, all right.
Shut the fuck up, or you'll be shitting blood too.
You'll be shitting blood too? Does that mean that you're shitting blood, dude? Sounds awful. Come on, baby. And get in there. What was that ruckus? Don't worry about it. Keep. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Got him.
Oh. Damn. Oh, might as well pop this guy while we're up here.
Got you all to myself!
Easy peasy. I only killed 2 of them. That feels better than what it normally is. You know? Steal their money. Damaged poker chip. Not really interested in that. Ashtray. Don't need it. Steal data. That sniper is beautiful, isn't it? That's fantastic. Okay. Now we just bring the footage to Aaron. Not really super concerned with the amount of money that... Not so bad. Bring it. Then we got to do the drop. We're good. What's up, Probably Supernatural? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by today. I really do appreciate all of you being here. I know it's nice to have a little sunlight here while we play this. Sunlight in Night City. This one was had a little bit less depth on it than we become accustomed to with some of these. Wonder if there's maybe going to be a follow-up here. Unbelievable how I know I say this a lot, but it's unbelievable how dingy these areas are, man. Like, we literally have so much money in Night City, and there is just no social support.
Yeah?
Aaron, it's V. I've got the scrolls.
Oh, V! Thought you were another one of those Serenity Bible whack jobs. Come in. So, hit any snags along the way?
There always are. Handle them.
You're real tough as nails, huh? That's how you survive out there. All right, now hand over those scrolls already. Choppity chop chop, huh?
These scrolls are for some kind of investigation, right?
Mm-hmm. Real big stink, mind you. But thanks to your help, I can give it a push.
Here, take them.
Great work. I'll spread the word you do solid merc work. Coming from Aaron McCarlson, that'll go far.
Oh, is that right?
I'm sure it will. Take care.
Alright, so he's just a random dude trying to do an investigation. I thought there'd be a little more juice with that.
Aaron's happy, I'm happy. Always pays to be on good terms with badges, right? Gigs closed, Eddie's on their way.
Let's go. I'm gonna bump intelligence one more time. Reflexes will probably be next. Reflexes. I just don't. I'm not. Hopefully that opens up some of these other ones. Okay. All right, we're cleaning this up. This is good. We've basically cleaned up this entire area here, other than this find something over here. But like this entire island is pretty good. Morton Colby for 39K. I'm not interested in that. Oh, 75K for that car. Boy, that's kind of expensive, but your boy's got his eye on that car, I'm gonna tell you what. As a reminder to those of you in chat, if you ever need to get my attention for something, make sure you tag me. God, oh my God. Guys, how do you even know it's me in here? Well, I guess they probably have the same scanners that I do. I just, like, they immediately open fire. I mean, I guess I have a pretty recognizable car, too. It's not like this thing is seen everywhere outside of the Badlands, so I guess in some ways I could understand why I get fired at, but... bulletproof cars in Night City. I'm sure, I mean, like Delamain, I'm sure has got to be bulletproof. My car does pretty well. We haven't really had it get messed up yet from people firing at me. Oh God, I think you braked a little too soon on that. I have a Quadra Turbo for sale. Oh shit. I have a Quadra Turbo for sale, parked at the attached coordinates. I suspect it will not stay available for long since it's a good machine and there's no shortage of buyers. If life's taught me anything, it's to seize an opportunity as soon as it appears, for it might only appear once. You think about that while you gather the money to pay. Wakado, how much is that? Your boy is interested. That car looks badass. Alright, I gotta get in here somehow. Silver Pixel Cloud is growing? What is this? We're growing! Thanks to all our new customers, we're thrilled to be adding even more space for you and your cars. More space, more privacy, more excitement. Okay. These people just leave rolls of money out. Great. Sign the petition. Flyer, April 23rd, 2021. This is old. In defiance of citywide protests, the push for new oil wells rages on, putting out surrounding ecosystems at serious risk. If you're against the illegal exploitation of this land, please sign the petition. Together, we can make a difference. Your vote matters. End the criminal devastation of the Badlands. That didn't go very well, did it? Change of plans. We'll be shutting down Silver Pixel Cloud Night City at the end of the year. There will be no severance packages offered. As stated clearly in the contract, employees are not entitled to severance pay if they may transfer to another company location. We're happy to offer employees a choice between our Rockford and Laredo locations. The new positions will be on short-term contract without benefits, as those locations are also slated to close within 6 months. The code to the main entrance has been changed to 0000 so everyone can come collect their personal effects. Holy cow. Alright guys, you can't get paid if you can go somewhere else, but where you can go is going to also shut down, so big middle finger to you. Yikes, man. Feeling alone and kinky? Not really. Got a stalker on your tail? Hired iron out for your blood? Some freak giving you crooked looks and bad vibes? Or maybe you're just looking to pad your personal security. The animals got your back. Survival of the fittest. It's the only law that matters in Night City. You hire us, we show your enemies just what it means. We'll protect you, your home, your workplace, your property. Hell, we'll even happy to kick back a few doors if necessary. Okie dokie. Warning, scam alert. Do not click on any emails with ads for a penis enlargement nanogel. This is a scam. Ordinary gels cannot stimulate new cell growth. The only tested and proven method for penis enhancement is still the Arasex hormone treatment. Our scientists at Arasex have developed a formula that will dramatically increase the length and girth of your penis in only 7 days. Join the thousands of other satisfied customers and order your kit today. I didn't believe it would work, but I was desperate. I only had a week to get my penis big, and I knew Mr. Stud wouldn't cut it. Fortunately, Arasex did the trick, and I've still got the nail marks on my back to prove it. Thanks, Arasex. Richard Towers, real customer, verified penis growth. Nice, he verified penis growth. The guy actually sent in photos, before and after photos. Love that. Okay. Have a good one, Diligent. Alrighty. There's maybe some good stuff in here. I don't know. We definitely have this thing up. But need to scan.
Who would have thought?
I am actually going to be curious to see what the actual like resolution of this like mural thing will end up being. Can I even get into this building? Oh, Jesus! Okay, it's just pop trash. Oh my god. That actually legitimately scared me. I thought somebody was gonna like jump out of there and attack me or something. Some scary trash. Doesn't look like I can drop down into this building, so I guess we'll get out of here. Eerily quiet, unless I go up here into this control tower. Anybody else get scared by that trash? That trash, that actually got me. I wasn't ready for that. There we go. Look at these people just leaving money behind. Showtimes. Okay. Not interested in that. Hair wax. Okay. Give me the euro dollars. Alright, before we walk out of here, I gotta pee. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. BRB, use this as a chance to, you know, thumbs up the stream and stuff. Be right back. Okie dokie. It's to a point where you just can't concentrate anymore. Hey V, I have Arc Nazaires that is looking for a new order. New owner, practically new. It once belonged to a corpo who wanted to impress his minions, except he did not have the first clue about handling it. Braked a little too hard and launched himself into the air, skull smacked into the pavement so forcefully not even TT Platinum could save him. Jesus, thank God for idiots. So are you ready to buy? No, I don't really care much about motorcycles. Gato. I do care about cars you got, though. Arc Nazaire is 138k. 138k. That's not looking good. Not looking good. I don't have that kind of dough. When I could just steal one off the road. Arthur Morgan had more money in Red Dead than I have in 2077. If I was Arthur Morgan, I could afford everything.
I need someone for a quick and quiet operation. It involves planting bugs in a heavily guarded area. You have the brief. Read it.
Okay. The person should not stray from the road, and the tiger should not leave his mountain steps, or misfortune will find them both. Tiger Claw boss Taki Kazo thinks he's smart. He thinks I won't find out about his agreement at the Shinto shrine on Milagro Terrace. He thinks I don't know he's using the shrine's Honden for secret meetings. He thinks he can rule Japantown without my influence. He will be wrong. I'll give you a wiretap to place right at the Shintai in the most sacred of Shinto spaces. Don't make a noise and don't disappoint me. Look at how beautiful this thing is, man. Okay, this isn't a time to admire cars. This is a time for stealth. All right, we got some tourists here. Taking some selfies. Nice, looking good. Don't mind me, friends. How am I supposed to get past these people without causing a massive ruckus? They are everywhere. Beautiful area. Oh shit. What's up, buddy? Membership card. To renew your card. It's expired. Damn. Don't mind me, friends.
What can I get for you?
Alright, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to distract those guys. This guy's gonna start moving. Go ahead and knock this guy out. Remove this variable.
This one's closed.
Good point. It's a good point, Eldrin. I don't know if I'm going to get flatlined here, which is why we got to be very careful, because I'm a knucklehead and I didn't think about... We got to figure out how to distract these guys and get them out of the way. No back route here. Grab this guy. Come with me. Oh no! Oh no! Oh boy. Okie dokie. Oh, these guys are strong. Not ideal. Well, I think it's safe to say I made a noise. Mikado will not be pleased. I did not realize that that guy could actually push me off when I was holding him. I really thought I could just drag him as far as I wanted. Not great. You think maybe if I like hide all the bodies that Wakado will not care? Or is that wishful thinking? Probably wishful thinking, right? Teachings of the Temple. Excerpts. The welcome truth that sleep and death are twin sisters. Beneficent, healing, and vivifying, is gradually making its way through the scientific as well as the religious world, bearing on its buenos faith and trust in the fundamental lays of life which underlie all phenomena, and casting down forever the great Moloch of fear which stands at the gate of all men's minds, ready to devour each child of hope which has been conceived and born in the joy of life. Holy run-on sentence, Batman. I have no idea what that says. No idea. Time and space are annihilated in dream life because of the rapid action of the energy of mind when freed from bonds of matter. And life in a state of dream is so foretaste of what life may be when the coarser grades of matter which now hold the embryonic God-man in bondage are refined, and the energy which now must act under all the difficulties man has ignorantly thrown up by unnatural, unwise methods and practices through countless incarnations will then be guided and controlled by the higher or spiritual will of man, for the perfecting of a body is as much as superior to the bodies of the present races of mankind as the latter are superior to those of the animal creation. You got that, chat? You good? So, what's interesting about this type of thing is that I think some people would like read this and be like, okay. But if you are trying to create like a devoted following of folks who don't really know how to think for themselves, you could use this kind of language to corral people based on the fact that they believe that because they can't interpret it, they must be at a loss, and that the people who have written this must know something more than they do, and in fact they must be smarter. And a really good example of this is academic literature. There are so many people who write academic literature exactly like this, and honestly, if you do that, your literature is worthless, particularly if we're talking about like human sciences. Because the whole point of research is to hopefully be able to disseminate it down to where lay people can understand it. The mark of a really intelligent, excellent researcher is a person who can take complex academic ideas and make them palatable to a general lay audience. Of course, there's going to be some jargon that's included in that, but that is the hallmark of intelligence, not this stupid shit. This doesn't grab the masses in the way that you think it does. It grabs the masses if people think, wow, this person must be incredibly intelligent because they use words I don't understand in sentence structure that I can't follow. And that's just not true. Like, that doctrine's not deep because nobody understands it. Get out of the shrine complex so that Wakado can absolutely ream my ass for the fact that I did not do as requested. She's gonna be so pissed. This is gonna go.
I smell a rat.
Alright, I'll let you smell the rat. You're gonna see that all your friends are dead, and you're probably not gonna be a fan of that, but what's a boy to do? These tourists all just still chilling here? Just like, alright, no big deal. Oh no, they're freaked out. Okay. Oh, she's gonna be so mad. She's gonna be so mad.
You were to do this quietly. It was anything but. The whole city heard what happened in the shrine. Your payment will reflect your carelessness. I am closing the contract.
Well, I think the whole city hearing it is maybe a little bit dramatic, Mikado, but I get it. Oh, there's the okay. So there's the vehicle. Rescue the person located here. Come on, give me a. Let's get some meaty side quests. Did I do all the meaty side quests already? I do really want this car. This would be a really awesome car to have available to me. Oh, baby. Let's go. Since it's not mine, I can drive it like a rental car. I heard about it, and I don't even live in Night City. You know what? It's a really good point. It's a really good point. Oh! Overcooked it. City is interestingly yet incredibly poorly laid out. Like, the urban planning on this is not great. All right.
V, you are to rescue Lauren Costigan, wife of Bradley Costigan, my client. She is being held captive by the Tiger Claws. If you wish to know more, read the attachment.
Old sins cast long shadows, and Bradley Costigan is guilty of many. As a result, he not only found himself in prison, but also invited trouble into the life of his wife, Lauren Costigan. It's your task to help her. When Bradley landed a spot behind bars, he was contacted by old acquaintances in the Tiger Claws. Shiv some snitches, they said. He said no. Tigers don't like that word. They kidnapped his wife and sent stills as proof. No great surprise, Bradley began to cooperate, but he also remembered me. He's promised payment, and I believe he's desperate enough to be good for it. My people have already tracked where the stills were taken. Once you have the coordinates, set to work immediately. Yeesh. Alright, so we're intervening in a hostage situation, which tells me that I need to make sure that I don't make noise. And I've been traditionally very bad at not making noise, so this will be interesting. Thank God this wall's blown out. Wonder if they have any security around it. Does not appear that they do. They got a camera, though. All right, we're in. We're going to do it this time. All right, chat. If I fail to be stealthy, or if I get out of here, I don't want to do this. Okay, if I get out of here stealthily, I will give away a copy of either Voyager or Delta V if you don't own it. If I get caught, I will give away a copy of Long Haul off of the merch store. So if you haven't purchased the music, or if you've been wanting to get it but haven't yet, I will give a copy away of Delta V or Voyager if I get through this without getting anybody noticed. And if I get noticed, I will give away Long Haul. So you win either way. We're doing a giveaway regardless, but it's just a matter of what will be given away. Oh! Wow. Was that close? Oh no! Oh, I didn't want to kill him. I hit the wrong button. Oh my god. Some condoms on the floor. Okay. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Oops. Try it again. E9 BD 7A E9 BD 7A 1C. Okay, E9 BD 7A 1C. Let's turn everything off, maybe. Weebu Naginata. With this in your home arsenal, no one could or would touch you with a 10-foot pole. Cunt Lord Katana. Buy this and your mother won't dare kick you out of the house. TC Mono Katana. For aspiring tigers who are better suited as house cats. Spud Slayer Tonto. Those potatoes won't peel themselves, samurai. Otaku Tonto. Perfectly complements the figurines and plushies in your mantle. Heaven's Storm. Improving an already perfect weapon such as the katana is no easy task, but we have succeeded in doing so. The blade of this katana has been enchanted with the souls of lesser demons known as cellar imps. But beware! If you do not cast the right protective barrier when wielding this blade, you may fall victim to the basement dweller curse. Heaven's Storm, enchanted katana. Damage type, shameful memories, unhealable. Damage bonus, +3 envy damage to enemies with the basement dweller curse. Equip restriction, warriors with emotional maturity perk cannot wield it. Find a ripper with the feeding equipment. This bitch refuses to eat and I'm tired of risking more bite attacks. Let's shove a nutrient tube down her throat and be done with it. Oh my god. Hey Choom, today's your unlucky day. You're probably wondering who I am. I'm a voodoo boy, probably heard of us. Remember the last time you hit the net? Yeah, me too. I hack your coprocessor and install a little surprise for you. Now you do what I say or your head goes boom. Think $1,000 is fair pay to keep your head. If you pay, I uninstall. I uninstall my surprise. If not, I blow up your head. But blow up the head of the person you love most first. If you tell NCPD, I blow up your head twice. You have 2 days to pay, and I know you'll read this because I install spy cam in your optics. We read it together. This is not a negotiation, Choom, so do not reply. We've seen that a couple times, so it must not be legit, or that guy just hacks everybody. we made it in here. Now we got to make sure that I'm doing this. Got to do this stealth thing properly here. Oh no! Didn't realize there was somebody in here. Long haul it is. God damn it. This gun is weird. Doing a terrible job with stealth. Oh, with close combat here. Whoa! What the hell did that guy hit me with?
God damn it!
Oh, one of these days, man. One of these days, I would love to do a stealth mission and actually do it well. But hey, we get a copy of Long Haul going out. Do it after this mission. That's her.
You want something?
Now, we have to remember, she is very likely to be hostile toward me because she has absolutely no reason to believe that I'm here to help her. She has no context for me walking into this room right now. So her fear and skittishness and perhaps even aggression toward me is completely legitimate, and I need to understand that when I walk into this room. So we have to take this slow. We can't come in here and expect that she's just going to be fine with the fact that we're rescuing her. I should not expect her to be thankful for this. I would expect her to be terrified, and it's going to require a lot of reassurance on my part. You got to know what you're working with in situations like this. So many of us expect that people are going to interact with us in the way that we know ourselves to be. You have to take yourself out of your own subjective experience and really think about, who am I to this person? Right? Like, she has no reason to believe that I'm safe. And we need to treat her as such and respect that that's the case. Right? So no time to explain is not great.
I'm getting you out of here.
What?
Your husband hired me. I'll make sure you're safe.
Stupid, fucking worthless piece of shit!
Come on now, we need to go.
It's an interesting reaction.
Head down.
Where are you going, Lauren? Hold up. Daddy's got to steal some stuff. I'm curious what her anger toward her husband is. I hope we get some context for that. Like, did he get her caught up in this in the first place? I know, I do seem to jinx myself with that. Hello, Rosalind Tubby. I gotta start doing pings, because pings are generally what tell me where everybody is. Come on, Lauren.
Right. No need to thank me.
Assume this is the car?
Hey there. Is there someone who can help you?
My mom?
Tell her to lay low somewhere. They'll be looking for your family and friends. You understand?
Yeah. What about Brad?
Just focus on yourself right now.
Good directive.
Hey, see that car? It'll take you someplace safe.
Thank you.
Look out for yourself.
Lauren is secure. I'm informing Bradley now. Thank you for your help. Contract closed.
Damn. Okay. I mean, that went well, I guess. I'm curious about... I don't know, I want to know so much more. I want to know the context. Give me context, Wakata. Or Wakado. You're not giving me context. Alright, there's a mural over by Takemura. Rescue the person located here. Rescue the person. Man, there's a lot of rescuing that needs to be done over here. Mega building H8. Side job. I want to, yeah, so we need to do a side job, and then maybe we'll go chat with Judy. See what's up with Judy. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, so they wanted the guy to snitch. He said no, they stole her. But I don't think that's necessary. That's not... So, actually, that brings up a really important point, okay? So, we have to be very careful where we point accountability. Because her being angry at her husband for not switching is a misdirected anger. Her getting kidnapped, the people who kidnapped her are who are at fault there. Be mad at the Tiger Claws, not at your husband. I mean, if they said to him, we're going to take your wife if you don't snitch, or if we're going to take your wife if you don't snitch, like, that's an impossible position for him to be in. Okay, cool. So do I give up all this information, or do I bank on the fact that they will take my wife? Like, it's a threat. It's not even necessarily a known variable. So for him to be angry, or for her to be angry at him, makes some sense, I guess, but like, really the anger should be directed toward the Tiger Claws. Like, we should be figuring out what the hell's going on with the Tiger Claws that they're doing this shit. And the most common example of this we see in real life is if you're like in a couple and then one of the people in the couple engages in an affair, getting angry at the person who your significant other had the affair with is misplaced. It's a triangle. You should be angry at the person who has consented to being in the relationship with you that you have consented to having in the relationship. That's where the anger goes. Being angry at the other girl, so to speak, is not the way, because ultimately that person, maybe they know what they're doing, but that person that you have consented to being in a relationship with is the one that is caused the problem and engaged in that extradiatic relationship. If you know you're going to cheat, you should break up. right? Like you are bringing something into the relationship that the other person is not consented to, and that's why cheating is shitty. But really what it comes down to is, where do you want to defer the accountability? Because you make better choices about how you handle things going forward. The other person was a close friend of the person. I think it's okay to be angry if that person was trying to like seduce the person. I think if like that person, I mean, it's okay to be angry at them, but ultimately like the operational aspect of that first and foremost would be the relationship itself. And then if there's something between the friendship that happens, then that's, you know, a different matter. So I suppose in the instance where you know each other, there's a little bit more complexity there. But like if it's a side person that you don't know about and you've never met before, funneling your anger over there is usually a way of deferring off of the dyadic relationship itself. Like there's two relationship ruptures and both have to be attended to in that case. But a lot of times, I mean, you certainly have instances of that where people will engage in affairs with close relationships. But in the times where like it's somebody who's completely unrelated, and like even in this case, right, like this woman's being kidnapped by people she doesn't know because of a decision her husband made, like the real people at fault here are the ones who kidnapped her, not necessarily her husband. Her husband didn't like try to get her kidnapped. Maybe he didn't even know. Like we don't have enough context here. I think at the end of the day, it's just important to sit back and actually think about where accountability is when things happen. A lot of us kind of have knee-jerk reactions to what's proximal to us or what's easier, and that's not always the proper way to go, I think is the point that I'm trying to make in a somewhat messy way. That was not my best concept illustration. We see a lot of times we try to avoid certain tension by going elsewhere that we perceive to be easier. It's sort of like, you know, if you have a person in your family who's a pain in the ass and then people constantly talk to you instead about how much of a pain in the ass that person is instead of dealing with that person, that's a really common form. And I think all of us have probably in some way, shape, or form been in a situation like that. And it's important for us to say, like, look, like I get that we're frustrated about this and that, you know, this person hurt you in this way, but that's between you and that person. Like, you need to figure it out with them. There's not a lot I can do. I can support you, but detriangulating ourselves is a really important life skill, and part of that comes from our ability to notice who and what is accountable in a given circumstance. What's up, Richard?
Hey, V, wait a sec. Listen to that guy. How'd you rate his chops?
To my untrained ear, sounds all right, I guess. I mean, it's easy listening at least.
Know why? Technique's second rate, but the feeling, that's what counts. Guy's hurt, got something he can't take, and it shows. Could stand a little more stage presence. Fingering's all wrong, loses the tempo more than he keeps it, but not bad.
You really know how to give a guy a compliment. Is that how you got your start? Street busker with big dreams?
Don't make me laugh. No time for playing my way to the top. Was too busy shaking the world awake.
Being at the top can be worth it. You want to shake the world, you know. Well, the world's got to feel you first.
And you pay for it. You spend your lyrics laying waste to the big record corps. Who's gonna sign you then? But give up your ideals, and no amount of eddies can buy them back.
All right, princess. At least you played some gigs. Saw those memories of yours.
True. Played where we could. Parks, old factories, underground clubs. Had an audience from the start. Some recorded our stuff, didn't even know who we were.
Ooh, mean to say I could get my hands on some old samurai bootlegs? Well, I'm gonna find those tapes. I'm gonna shriek like a little fangirl anytime you open your mouth. Happy?
Just you fucking try.
Jokes aside, you think those tapes still exist? After all these years?
You know, Rainbow Cadenza's not far from here. Club we played till the band fell apart. Great spot. Place for people with their heads on straight. Maybe they'll know something.
Pretty fascinating exchange there. I could maybe look at Johnny asking that question about what I thought of his music, like this guy's playing music, as Johnny testing the waters to see how much of his own autonomy he's lost to V. So what I mean is Johnny has his own perception and expertise as it relates to musical competence, his own enjoyment, and can decipher whether a person's technique is good, whether the feel's there, whether it's pleasing to him. But then V also has his own subjective experiences as it relates to music and his understanding of the technicality of it. And Johnny obviously spent a lot of his life immersed in music. So think of how vulnerable it would be to know that your expertise and something that you were so invested in is being merged with somebody who does not share that. And so I wonder if Johnny needs V to say what his opinion is on it so that he can reassert his own autonomy, because he's afraid that maybe V's lack of musical knowledge is going to impact his appreciation and enjoyment of whatever it is that he's perceiving. Because we talk so much about Johnny hijacking V, but V is slightly hijacking Johnny by being the mind that he's being merged into. And so then we see Johnny get a little bit aggressive, and I think we see V also get aggressive, arguably unnecessarily, maybe because they're subconsciously realizing that that is what they're vying for. That they're continuing to make this separation. Neither one of them really wants to acknowledge that they're being merged in a certain way, and so they get antagonistic toward each other in really what would be a vulnerable moment if they really discuss, like, holy shit, do you think our perception of music is going to change? That's a scary conversation for Johnny Silverhand.
Glad you could clear your schedule.
Man, now Julio's a real bastardo. Johnny, pretty sure they turned your great spot into a slurp shop.
Mindless fucking consumerism wins the day again.
Point for the other team, huh?
Huh. This is why you don't bring back fallen warriors. Sooner or later, they're gonna see everything they fought for is turned to shit.
We actually asked how Johnny feels about just everything. You don't get an opportunity to ask Johnny questions almost ever, unfortunately, so I have to do a lot of interpretation.
Right now, the Crystal Palace. Feel alive in the dead of space.
Hey, Rainbow Cadenza mean anything
you
to
there?
you?
Yes.
Oh
I'm
no,
talking to you.
another one.
Are you getting what
Aren't you too
want
young
out
for
of life?
this?
Let me guess.
What now?
Food from a tube,
Every day,
drinking
some
water,
sad
the
grandpa
tap,
in his
another
old
murder
leather comes
outside
in
your
here,
bedroom window.
asks where is his
What
old
if
rainbow
you
club.
could leave all that
And I'm
behind?
like a broken record.
Far
Tell all of
behind
them the
when you
corpse brought
begin
them
your
out 20
journey
years
to
ago.
the final frontier.
I should
Send the
put up a
word
sign.
space to 7299.
Know anything
for a
about any
chance to win a
bootlegs from Rainbow
one-week
Cadenza
getaway for
days?
two at the
Like,
Crystal
say,
Palace.
I don't know,
10
samurai
casinos,
stuff?
5 pools, top-end
Samurai.
brain dance equipment, and the best
Oh,
chefs in
that
the
ugly
universe.
red face on black?
If you're looking
Yeah,
for a taste of
even I know
paradise,
that one.
don't wait a microsecond
Old guy comes
longer.
by here
Send
sometimes
space
wearing
to
this shirt.
7299
Spends
right
the whole
now.
time yakking with his
The
psychophant
Crystal
friends.
Palace. Feel
Wouldn't happen to
alive
know where
in
I
the
could
dead
find
of
him.
space.
You can find him living back in the 2020s.
Hey, you there?
But besides that,
Yes,
he's
I'm
out there
talking
at
to
the
you.
market.
Are you getting what you want out of life? Let me guess.
What's he selling?
Food from a tube,
Organic
rescue
strawberries
water
and
from the
cream.
tap,
What do you
another
think?
murder outside your
He
bedroom
sells
window.
ancient, dusty
What if
tapes of
you could
ancient,
leave
dusty
all that
indie bands.
behind?
No one's heard of a single one of them.
Behind
Preen,
when you begin
thanks.
your journey to the final frontier. Send the word space to 7299 for a chance to win a
This whole city is just a freaking cacophony, man.
I heard I can get some decent tunes here.
What you mean by decent? We got Cartesian duelists, Uridine stuff, Tainted Overlord.
You mean samurai?
Kid, you even gotta ask? Never fade away. Dancing with my axe, chipping in, you name it, we got it. Silverhand was the one true messiah of rock. I'd hand them records out like candy if I could. But a guy's gotta eat.
I see I found Silverhand's biggest fan.
And proud of it. Today's bitty box rockers can't even touch it. Silverhand had something they couldn't.
A Silverhand?
He had that fire, kid. Fire! Guy shook the foundations of the corpo world. He died for his ideals.
Doesn't matter, he was also kind of a terrorist.
Blaze way down the rebel path.
How Johnny Silverhand is perceived and labeled is so relative. Because some look at Johnny Silverhand as a visionary. They look at him as a hero. They look at Johnny and they say, this guy nuked a corporate tower that was ensnaring not just Night City, but the general culture as a whole. That, like, he died for an idea that I believe in, and he is a hero. And then you have the corpo spin, which is that Johnny Silverhand is a terrorist. Because, and it's very important which ones get represented and where, because depending on what gets represented is what people are going to internalize, because that's what they're subject to. And that's going to sway public opinion in different directions. Because if the corporations can get out and call Johnny Silverhand a terrorist, they can throw up all of that information in the vids, on commercials, they can control the discourse, then you get people who look at it and go, yeah, Johnny Silverhand's a bad guy, which is what the corporations want you to think, because then they look like the victims. Whereas if you look at Johnny as somebody who was pushing against a system that is destroying everybody, and he's the one that had the balls to do what he needed to do in order to make that happen, and that maybe what Johnny Silverhand represents is our need to question what corporate overlords are doing to the general culture. If you get a groundswell of support, then perhaps people start boycotting things. Perhaps people stop playing into what corporate needs are. And that's not great for business. So you see this tension and this push-pull at the bottom level based on the messages that are being sent to try to curate people's perception of a certain thing that was a big moment in the history of Night City, but also of the United States. This is why language is so important, friends. And this is why perspective is relative. So we see it in this little exchange. But wouldn't you call him a terrorist? So V has been subject to the corpo spin. And this guy was more on the ground floor and believes in Johnny. Johnny has very consistently shown that he is a person who wants to advocate for the little guy. He despises corporations. And there are people that, if you look around Night City, look at the areas we've been walking around in. Like, he's not entirely wrong. And I think it's very hard for people to sit in the gray areas on these types of things, right? Because is Johnny nuking an Arasaka tower and killing a bunch of innocent folks a bad thing? Yeah. Yeah. Most of those people are trying to make a living and aren't actually like in the actual positions of power of like Arasaka Corporation to make the decisions that are harming the masses. So it's not great, right? But is the idea probably good? Arguably, yes. For those who don't know what Johnny Silverhand did, Johnny Silverhand nuked Arasaka Tower and became a martyr for a cause against corporations, and basically was trying to stand up for what corporate America was doing to cities and to the working people. And so Night City is a perfect representation of that. It's massively corporatized to the point that even the police force is publicly traded. Would Road to Hell is paved with good intentions be fitting here? Perhaps. Maybe a little bit of an overgeneralization, but I think we have to be mindful of the way that language and representation spins our perception of things. This is, in fact, how biases happen. I mean, I'll even share a personal example. I grew up in Northwest Indiana. We got Chicago news where I grew up. And the representation... So I grew up in 98% of the people that were around me growing up were white. There was very little diversity where I grew up. But we got Chicago news. Chicago is a very diverse area. But it is... I mean, arguably between my hometown and Chicago, it looks basically like there's segregation, right? Like there's infinitely more diversity, people of color in Chicago. Well, we got Chicago news. And the way that folks of color were represented to me in the only vein that I ever saw them, besides learning about history, was you would see the news disproportionately report on violence in Chicago. And more often than not, you would see mugshots of people of color. Well, if that's the only introduction you have to that, if that's the only representation you ever get, because it's sort of picked and choosed where the violence and what the news is reporting on, it builds a schema of an overgeneralization of a group of people that gets ingrained in you very young, that you have to unlearn, and that takes a long time, right? So this is why representation, language, the way things are spun, particularly recognizing that people in positions of power are the ones who can control narratives, is so deeply important, because then we have to start and sit and go, oh my God, are some of these biases because of what's been told to me, not because I actually believe them? Like, I think V actually potentially could come around on what Johnny Silverhand's ideas were if he gives it the chance. But V has had the same narrative injected into him that so many have, which is that Johnny Silverhand is a terrorist bastard. A lot of gray areas here. There's a lot of complexity here. These are not things that we can immediately go black and white on. Unlearning those biases is a very important task of adulthood.
I'm looking for the real deal. Like, say, bootlegs from Samurai's first gigs.
Fuck. First, you have got no idea what you're asking for. Not if you're so chilled about it. Don't know how you found out about them bootlegs, but forget it. Not gonna give them to the first gunk off the street.
Johnny, help me out, buddy.
Hey, I ain't a poser. I know everything there is to know about Silverhand.
Go on. Impress me.
Know what he told Carrie the last time they met? Fuck this band. Not your crowd. Not your noise. Do your own thing.
Yeah, sure. I could think up a million conversations they had. There were no witnesses.
I used to, come here, back when it was still Rainbow Cadenza. Bootleg sure would make a nice souvenir of the good old days.
Cut the scop. You're too young to remember the first Samurai gigs. Weren't even a twinkle in your daddy's Kuroshis.
Hey, appearances can be deceiving. How do you know this pretty face ain't an implant?
All right, prove it. How'd Samurai's third ever gig end?
Johnny, my dear expert, help but chew him out. I need a quick rundown of Samurai trivia.
Yep, third gig. Remember it like it was yesterday. Set my axe on fire, then smashed it on the stage. Crowd went wild.
Well, can't wait all day.
Thank you, buddy.
Johnny lit up his axe, then smashed it.
Nope. Knew it. Who smashes their gear when they're just starting out? I mean, a new one costs eddies.
Johnny, please, can you stop making my life harder? My life that's quickly running out.
How am I supposed to give a witty response to that pathetic question? It's like kicking a puppy. A blind puppy.
You always freeze up like this?
Oh my god, I love this. Come on, Johnny.
Played our third gig at Cadenza. Little fire broke out. Some drunk gonks tried to put it out with beer. Denny's fro got singed. Wore a wig for a few weeks. Never did get herself any tech hair.
Hang on. Now I remember. There was a fire. Poor Denny. Poor Denny's hair.
I almost forgot. Heard Johnny started it, actually. Tossed a cig that was still glowing.
Bullshit. That cig was Carrie's, no doubt. But hey, any troubles, Johnny's fault.
Still don't believe you were there. But what the hell? Only a real fan can know something like that. Hey, anyways, gotta educate the youth. Maybe you'll find something special under the table. Come on, have at it.
Oh my god, I love that. I love that. 'Cause that guy doesn't know I'm talking to Johnny. We look like a complete dolt standing there just like with our mouth open, drool coming out while we talk to Johnny internally. I love that. We have to just like play it off like, all right, I'm thinking. Oh, I'm buying the guitar pick. Samurai concert recording. Nice. Oh, man. That's so good.
Much appreciated.
Take it. Spread the good silver hand word. Death to
You know, they say time is the best teacher. Used to think that was true. But look at that guy. 60 at least, but still living in 2020.
Guy's your biggest fan. You're not happy to meet him?
Busaka Tower to smithereens, and it's still standing there. Just the same. Don't want people getting stuck in a rut, stuck in the past. Want them to change. Them and the world.
It's been 60 years. Something must have changed.
Know what changed? The damn facade. Fresh interface plugs, new high fructose scop syrup, and fun fruity flavors. A new face of Arasaka, same old shit, different packaging.
Something's changed. Maybe we can't see it, but it's change all the same.
Sure, now almost nobody remembers when a person wasn't just a meat bag full of secondhand implants.
I know you wanted to keep an eye on when Johnny wears sunglasses. Have you figured out certain times when he will or won't? Okay, so I was actually just going to mention this. I don't know this. Again, I don't have enough data yet, but it is something I'm keeping an eye on. Johnny's got his sunglasses on right now while we're talking about him and his past. And he is... I mean, maybe there's an argument to be made that Johnny wears these sunglasses when he wants to create a little bit of distance between people. Maybe he wants to be a little less vulnerable and predictable because sunglasses block people's eyes. But it could be that when we actually are talking about something that happened for Johnny, or there's something that's vulnerable for him, he puts the glasses on as a way to protect himself from that. It's a working theory. I'm still trying to pay attention to when they're on versus when they're not. And when they're off, it may be that he's closer to merging with V. Again, hard to know. We also don't know if this is actually Johnny doing this or if this is V's perception of Johnny. You know, is V the one that's controlling whether Johnny's got his sunglasses on or not because it's his internal representation of him? Like, there's a lot of complexity there. So... Has he always wear the glasses when talking about his pet? No, we don't know yet. We don't know yet, Rage, which is why I'm trying to just keep an eye of like whether there's actually a pattern here between when Johnny wears his glasses and when he doesn't. I'm not trying to be like crazy with the symbolism, but I am interested in seeing if there's a pattern to when he does that. Because there are times where we talk to him and he's got sunglasses on, and there's times where we talk to him and he does not have sunglasses on, and I have a hard time believing that it's entirely by accident. I mean, just in general, though, like, again, sunglasses are a really great way to block. So, eye contact is vulnerable. Oh, shit. Let's see if there's a way I can go around the other one. I love hearing your theories. They're very interesting. And I personally was wondering if it meant anything with the glasses. Again, I don't know if it does, but there's a chance that it does. And it's just a cool little detail to sort of pay attention to.
B, I need you to acquire something. Only me, no client. So I expect quick and clean results. You will be entering Tiger Claw territory. Very high risk. More information attached.
Are you telling me I can go loud? A great treasure can turn out to be a great curse. Remember that, V. One of the fences in my territory, Leah Gladen, came into possession of some highly valuable equipment. A lock-break device capable of jailbreaking corp cyberware. Some call it a corp cracker. This tech opens doors for suits who want out, but don't want to lose function of corp-issued chrome or are looking to make an extra eddy by selling secondhand. Leah wasn't born yesterday. She knows what the tech is worth. She and I went back and forth, long price negotiations. We were close to reaching a deal with when all contact was lost. Your job is to find out what happened to Leah, but more importantly, to get that skeleton key for me. Don't bother reporting back until you have it. Don't waste time. Is there any way to do this quietly? Alright, let's see if I can ping.
Oh, fuck! You need to lay off those ships!
Oh yeah, I have to give away that copy of Long Haul, guys. Don't let me forget that.
Fuck! You need to lay off those skims!
What's shaking, Night City? Your man Stan here. Hey, Mom and Pop, got all eyes on your kiddos? No? Well, I'm checking. In recent weeks, more than a dozen boys aged 12 to 18 have gone missing. Their fates remain on.
Ugh, hate reading those. I don't know what's going on with that guy, but it doesn't look particularly fun. Go to the dealer's stash. Where's my car? There you are. Okay. That was good. That was nice. We were in and out. We didn't kill anybody, except for when we drove and just killed that person on the side of the road. Really? Okay. Great. Thank you. Thank you, NCPD, for having absolutely no reason to open fire on me and now making my life a living hell. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. Thank you for your service, you assholes. Entire military is gonna be after me. This is bad. This is so bad. Oh my god. Oh no. I gotta keep a low profile here. Got a blast! Alright, we're good, man. I love how the police, like, literally just can't be bothered. Wow, there's a lot of dead cops around here. Oh, shit. Yep. Wow, am I getting lucky or what? I love the first person driving. I find it way more engaging than third person.
Accident or murder in the line of duty. Embarrassing circumstances. As a problem happens, you're still here every time.
Not bad. Okay. We did it. Nice. Oh shit. What? What? Oh man. Come on, car. Get the hell out of here. There's too many cops. Too many cops. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'll be right back. I gotta pee again. Okay. Too many cops. Mick's getting the full American experience. You're not wrong. All right. Good stuff here. Let's go. That one's a high danger. Man, look how big this area is. There's so much to do. All right, we're gonna do this because this is literally the last job I have to do on this on that island, and then we're cleared up. It's pretty cool. Oh! I'm gonna use this drive as a quick opportunity to say how much I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with me today. I am going to do a giveaway for Long Haul. If you don't own Long Haul already, I will send you a copy via Discord. If you put in !sneak, that opens you up for an opportunity. I will send you via DM on Discord a copy of the song Long Haul, which is not available on Spotify or Apple Music. It's actually only available on the merch store. And that was because I failed the sneaky mission a little bit ways ago. So feel free to get in on that if you do not already own the song. If you already own the song, obviously don't enter. There's really no reason to do that. But and I will I'll roll for it at the end of this mission. So
V, I traced some klept meds. Someone's stashing them in a Kabuki apartment. Unfortunately, no idea what's waiting for you there, so be careful. Anyway, you bring them back, some rippers will thank you. Profusely. More deets in the attachment.
a few years back, I scrolled a little feature called How Affordable is Health? It turns out not very. My numbers showed only 3% of night citizens could afford healthcare. Oh, man. Oh, this is going to hit close to home. A lot has changed since for the worst. Some people are declaring open war on Rippers, breaking into clinics, collecting meds and chems. No surprise there, and no surprise the Rippers want to protect what's theirs. They want you to recover a pack of stolen meds. Thanks to the GPS tracer hidden inside, we know exactly where to look. Oh. I am conflicted on this one. You don't give people access to healthcare, they're going to take it. So I can't say that I blame it. Cannot say I blame these people for taking it. Now, I kind of want to...
Get it, June?
Alright.
Been thinking and thinking, but I just don't get it.
Get what?
All that food in the dumpsters. Good food. If they don't want it, why don't they just give it to us?
'Cause they don't even like to think about us. Simple as that.
That is a question I have asked myself for a very long time. I know grocery stores do this, and it's super disheartening. It really comes down to, in some ways, flawed logic. And projection. There are so many people in positions of power that assume that people in need will do the same thing that they would do if the opportunity was presented itself. Take social services, for example. People say, why do we have social services? It just enables people. People are just going to take advantage of the service, and they're not going to do the work they're supposed to do in order to be able to afford these things, which is just asinine. The reason people are taking advantage of social services is because they need the help. And people assume that, like, if we give away day-old bread or whatever from the grocery store that is expired or whatever, that if we do that, or if we give canned goods away that haven't sold, that we're just enabling people to wait for the free handout. I don't know about you, but I don't really want to sit around for 2 weeks starving on the off chance that there's going to be some canned goods that the grocery store can't keep on the shelves anymore. It is the most ridiculously flawed logic. People, it's vulnerable to ask for help. It's vulnerable to access social services. There's an acknowledgement there that you need the help, and we've been so deeply ingrained that that kind of help is shameful, that people won't ask for it unless they're desperate. So if you put stuff out there for people to be able to access and live a better life, of course they're going to take advantage of it. That's the point. We do so much blaming to the poor of the fact that they're poor. Like, it's your fault you're poor. We demonize people who don't have resources without realizing that it's incredibly expensive to be poor. It is more expensive to be poor than it is to be wealthy, as it relates to getting basic needs met. And it's super disheartening that stuff like this is the case. And then they'll throw around, well, we can't have lawsuits, we can't have people getting sick, we can't have blah, 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 blah. But, like, there's got to be better options than just terminating things so that, the vagrants don't get to it. It's really disheartening stuff. I know it's a more complex issue than I'm making it out to be, but the point stands.
You hear that howling at night?
Like a dying animal.
Shh, 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 shh. Quiet.
Can't call the police on him, or he'll rile up the tigers.
I know. Act them, or we will weep the rest of our lives.
By the way, generally, the same people that think that people would take advantage of social programs and don't think that people need them because they themselves don't need them are usually the first people that, if they were put in the same position, would be trying to get access to service and bitching that the service isn't available to them. So many of us use inductive reasoning and our own personal experience to make sense of other things that we don't fully understand and experiences we haven't had. Like, I can't think of a worse person to make a call on how we should deal with issues of poverty than somebody who's rich. It's just an entirely different wavelength. Yet that's generally what we have happening. DIY, how to build a bomb in your kitchen. Actually, to further the point, because it's something I'm passionate about. You know the other instances where you hear things like, don't give handouts because it'll continue to come back? You know where else we hear that? Pests. Pigeons. Rats. Ducks. So don't feed the ducks. Don't feed the geese, because then the geese learn that they can get food from you, and they will habituate to that and no longer forage for food on their own because they've learned that it's more readily accessible by humans handing out food. When you make that analogy for humans, you are dehumanizing humans. You are calling them pigeons. You are suggesting that humans are only slave to what animals don't understand. An animal coming back for a handout is entirely different than a human accessing social service. Like, it's horrific when you really think about the language that we use for stuff like that. God forbid we look at a system where people are so hungry that they're desperate to find people who can give them food for free, who are willing to eat the food that other people in the grocery store pick over when they have the ability to go into it. There are people that will go into grocery stores and see a tiny little bruise on a tomato and will be so averse to it as if it's going to give them the plague to eat it. Yet there are people who would be desperate to have a shot at eating that tomato and cutting the bruise off of it and having something in their stomach. Yet we look at them as pigeons who will come back because once they learn that they can get it for free, why would they be incentivized to work? Think, if you really sit down and think about that sentence I just said, it is disgusting. And it makes you wish that people who say shit like that could, for a month, experience what it's like to be in a position where you literally can't get help anywhere and you're desperate for food and shelter. You put yourself in that position, and then you empathize with how much of a struggle that is. It's terrible how we treat people who are homeless and poor. It's terrible. It's way more complicated here than it probably is elsewhere, Rage. We do everything we can not to empathize with the poor. Because it's uncomfortable. And it should be uncomfortable. So this stolen medicine, I'm having a real hard time with this. Because I don't blame them for stealing it. Gotta figure out how to get up there. Yeah, how much if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. A guy can't fish if he's dead from hunger. Right? Like, that, there's no nuance to that, right? Like, the real answer to that is teach a guy to fish, and he's not going to give a shit about fishing if he doesn't have the energy and the stomach to be able to do it in the first place. Like, we can feed people and help them learn how to get up on their own feet. It doesn't have to be either or. Like, the fact that we talk about it in such binary terms is infuriating because that's just not how it works. People have to have their basic needs met in order to be productive. It all goes out the window as soon as your needs aren't being met. Think of how hard it is to do your job if you're hungry. Yeah, and you need a fishing pole to fish, and if you can't afford the fishing pole, well...
Stop! Sure. And you be careful with that trigger.
How did you find me?
GPS transmitter. The one you forgot to disable on the stolen meds.
Now, V is probably going to approach this as kind of an asshole. Where ideally I wish V would approach this guy with some compassion. He's coming from Regina's point of view. He's not coming from the point of view of the folks who took this stuff.
Just hand them over, and I'm gone.
Stolen? The Bale of Paradol doesn't work. So who's stealing from who? Who? Ripper Docs. They're the real criminals.
Balo Paradol. For cyberpsychosis.
I'm not fucking crazy!
Easy.
Shut up! Go away!
Okay, so we might consider this to be a high-intensity crisis situation that is in need of de-escalation. So this is no longer about the conversation about the medication. We have to go into de-escalation protocol here. The way that you do that is to sort of match intensity, and then over time you slowly lower your intensity in order to bring the person down. And one of the things that you have to do in order to de-escalate somebody is you have to empathize. You have to make sure that you are meeting them where they're at. If he senses in any way, shape, or form that I am on the other side of the ring, it is more likely that he is going to do whatever he has to do to survive, and that could mean escalating this to a point of trying to shoot at me. And I don't want that. And I have to understand that that's a possibility. So I would hope that we could engage with this guy in a very calm, matter of fact, listening to his concerns, hearing what he has to say kind of moment, and we keep ourselves slow and methodical, and we remain in control, and we don't allow him to project onto us because we maintain that control. If we panic, he's going to freak. Okay, so I want to learn more about it. What's going on? I'm going to ask very easy questions for him to answer. Yes, no questions, and also questions about his experience that he can tell me without me loading that with any bias in the questions or any kind of like edge to it. Because if he reads that, he's going to see me as against him. And right now, in a de-escalation situation, I'm not against him, I'm with him. We're going to work together here. Right, so this is a threat. We don't want this. If it doesn't work, give it to me. Right, that's a better option here.
If they're no use to you, they don't work. Just hand them over.
You're the same as them. Rippers, politicians. The same as that fucking Holt.
I could think of a few differences.
Shut up!
Right there, I could think of a few differences. Not a good approach there, V. Like, okay, I can see how you would think that is the better approach there. Right? You get on his level. I don't have to agree with him. But if I go against him, I'm in trouble. So I have to say, yeah, I could totally see how you would think that. That makes a lot of sense, dude.
Bastard he stole from research. He doesn't care about the sick. But soon, I'll find him. End him.
Okay, so a lot of these are aggressive, but we're going to appeal to his emotion, right? Like, you're not a soldier, dude. You're not a terrorist. I get it. I get it. You're really mad at this guy. You have every right to be mad at this guy. I understand you want to kill him. Makes a lot of sense to me. I'd probably want to kill him, too, if I was in your position. But, man, hey, you know, I don't get a sense that you're a soldier or a terrorist. I get a sense that you're struggling. You're trying to figure out how to make this better, and you're doing everything you can. You're doing everything you can to figure this out. You probably tried to go through the proper pipelines and it didn't work for you. So you turned to what you needed to turn to in order to get this done. I'm not agreeing with the fact that you did that. We can certainly talk about accountability here, but you're doing what you need to do, and I need to be able to connect with you on that. So, you know, tell me a little bit more about this Ripper doc. Like, how did he screw you over? What led you to this position? Like, let's really talk about this, dude. I'm not going to go at him with like, I see we're not talking anymore, any of that stuff. We're going to suggest to him that, like, you're not a soldier or a terrorist. You're just a guy that's trying to figure out how to make this work, and maybe I can help you. Or you're a soldier, not a terrorist, right? You are a soldier. You're not a terrorist.
A Militech HKS-47 with polymer reinforcement. You were a soldier.
Militech, 3rd Light Division, 155th Infantry Regiment. 7 years in a fucking jungle. When times were simpler.
Before you got sick.
You cast me out like a dead battery.
That's no reason to become a terrorist.
Now we ask a question. Where did you serve? Give me more info. Let's connect a little bit more.
Where'd you serve?
Brazil. Remember all of it. Dirt on my face. Fatigue's always wet. It's like a brain dance. I can't shut off.
The memories flood back.
Without the adrenaline. Without my brothers. Fuck. So quickly they forgot me.
A really important point. Without the adrenaline, without the context, these memories come back and I'm in a different context right now. I have to make different sense out of what it is that's happened, and that's a very intense thing. Intrusive thoughts, especially as it relates to things that are potentially traumatic, can be incredibly distressing because it can feel really real, particularly if we're talking about something like post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic stress disorder, which I'm not diagnosing this guy with. But if that is the case, then those intrusive thoughts are going to feel real, and they're going to set his brain ablaze. And he's going to do whatever he has to do to either try to shut down those thoughts or to fight against them, so to speak. So he's trying to get them out of his mind. He wants these meds and whatnot, perhaps to numb it, to get them away, so that he doesn't have to keep dealing with them. Because he's not controlling the fact that they're in his mind, and he's probably having a hard time figuring out how to actually respond to those thoughts and process those thoughts and put those thoughts into a context and process those thoughts in a context that's different from where he was when he experienced the things. You know, gunshots and friends dying and stuff, as awful as that is, it makes more sense in a combat zone. You get home and you start having those thoughts and you're in a relatively safe space, it sends a massive amount of dissonance through your brain, and it's incredibly hard to navigate. So this guy is massively struggling. He is massively struggling. And he is a person that was, you know, if we really want to laud the military and talk about how amazing they are and their sacrifice, he's a person who's been cast aside, as many veterans are when they leave the military. They don't get the support that they deserve to have. We act like they're amazing. We salute them at the airport. We give them rounds of applause. We freak out at sporting events when people in the military stand up. But we do very little to support them when they return home. And this guy is a product of that system, very obviously. Now, me saying I understand your anger is a misfire on V's part. I would never say I understand your anger. I would say something like your anger makes sense. As soon as V says I understand your anger, he is inserting himself into an arena that is not particularly useful. And a lot of us feel like we're doing that. A lot of us think that we're empathizing and that we're helping if we say I understand your anger. We think that's empathy. It is not. There is no possible way that I can understand the context of this man's anger. I can understand that there is anger present, but I do not understand his anger. And I am not about to make this moment about me. This is about empathy. So I may say something like that anger makes sense. Tell me more about that anger, or I can see that you're angry. But I am never going to say I understand your anger. Because the most easy response he's going to have to that is, no, you don't. And he's right.
You're angry, and I get it. You feel cheated.
That's a good way to respond.
Not just me.
I know, but if you zero Holt, you'll make it worse for everyone in your condition. They'll hunt you down.
Huge moment right there. Again, you guys seem to like this. I'm going to point it out again. Do you notice how his body language shifted? See that? V engaged him with empathy. He said, you're frustrated. Here's the reason, and I get it. And he followed up, and immediately we see he pulls his gun down, and he stands back, and he's in a little bit more of a vulnerable position. So we have connected with him. His body language shows that our empathy is on target. And he has been disarmed as a result of that because he's becoming more validated in his experience. He's not being perceived by V as crazy. He doesn't have any reason to think that V sees him as crazy and as a threat. So he stands down. This is how de-escalation works. If I come in here guns blazing and I fight him and I get all short and sarcastic and annoyed with him, now all of a sudden nothing good's going to come out of this. We listen to him, we reach in, we ask questions, we de-escalate, we empathize. He brings himself down a little bit. Now all of a sudden I'm perceived as safe because he thinks I have some understanding of what it is that he's talking about, and that is really important. And now what's really important from V's perspective is that we don't take that vulnerability and crush it by going off of our own agenda, because that is going to make this guy incredibly skittish going forward on lowering his defenses. If I use this as an opportunity to either open fire, throw him down to the ground, go steal the medication from him, whatever it may be, I have just taken full advantage of his vulnerability in a way that is so harmful to his psyche that it is disgusting. We have to know what we're working with here. We've disarmed this guy. We're going to work with him. We're going to collaborate with him. If at some point we have to get him down to the precinct or we have to get him through systems of accountability, we're going to try to do that in as collaborative a way as possible, and we're going to appreciate that he was willing to be vulnerable and stand down and work with us, not to take it to our advantage and become massively hostile.
Leave. Go, please.
No, I can't without those meds.
Over there. I want to be alone.
Awesome. Perfect.
Poor son of a bitch.
Glasses off.
He's not the only one in NC with problems.
Dude's got his back pinned against the wall. Alone.
What do you want me to do? Head to the lab, invent a cure?
Maybe this murder Holt idea is not so bad. At least it'd piss a few people off.
Sure, I guess, but what's the point?
Better than burying your head in the sand.
Johnny Silverhand is a very empathic person. Johnny Silverhand absolutely resonates with people who are getting screwed by a bigger system. And his empathy toward that is remarkable. And what is particularly fascinating to me about that exchange is V becoming hostile. And being like sort of angry. What do you want me to do about it? Right? Like empathy sometimes leads to operation. It makes people want to do things. But when you have to confront a sense of helplessness that you're not entirely sure how to navigate that system and push against it, people will sometimes get aggressive, right? So that's why empathy is difficult. If you empathize with every homeless person you walk past, it's going to activate you. You're going to want to do something about it. So what we try to do is distance ourselves from that empathy so that we can continue to just live our lives and not have to engage with that discomfort. And so Johnny very really brings that into the fray. He is empathizing immensely with this guy's position, and V starts to become uncomfortable because he doesn't know what to do about it. It's okay to sit with that discomfort, and maybe we try to figure out how we can influence a given moment. We can chip away at these things. This being one of those moments. But very fascinating. Johnny's glasses are off for that one. And he says, why not go kill Holt, right? Because he gets it. He understands the pain of this guy. This guy wants to be alone, so I'm not going to try to push the issue here. I'm certainly not going to hack his computer. I should have seen that coming. I am not surprised by that. Oh, man. That's what happens when the system lets you down, man. That must have been an unbearable sense of hopelessness and helplessness on a system that has failed that guy over and over and over and over. So much so that the only sense of control that he could feel over that hopelessness, the only way he could think to resolve that, is to end his own life. To take the control into his own hands and say, you know what? I'm not doing this. I personally believe it is within his rights to do that. Doesn't make it any less sad. I think it's sad that he was let down so much that he didn't have any hope. He didn't have any idea of what other possibility was available to him and how to help him. And he was in some ways probably right. And then I come in here and I take that medication. I show him that that medication is more important than his life and his well-being. Granted, V is not really equipped to intervene beyond that. But that is profoundly sad, man. It's sad because of the context. I can actually appreciate that that guy decided to do it on his own terms. I just wish that more help would have been available to him. And being alone is a catalyst for following through on a suicide attempt. In fact, usually what prevents people from following through if they have a plan is to be in proximity to other people. And so I just walked out on him. It's not my fault. It is not my fault. There is nothing I could have done. Now, I said to myself I should have seen that coming. That doesn't mean that I could have changed this. It is not my fault that that guy made that decision. He is responsible for the consequence of that decision, which is that he is now dead. But it doesn't make it any less painful, and it doesn't make you any more angry at a system that has totally let this guy down. And there are lots of people in real life that go through something like this, and that is how they finish it out. And it's really a shame. It's a really heavy moment. I was not expecting that. If you want to learn more about suicide, I have a video on my YouTube channel called A Conversation About Suicide. I encourage you to watch that video. It's about 45 minutes long. I talk about my experience on the suicide hotline, and we go into some really nice depth about the topic. I also encourage you to call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline if you yourself have ever experienced suicidal ideation or are, whether it's fleeting or whether it is, you're very close to following through on a plan. Please know that help is out there. There are people who are willing to listen to what you have to say. There are people who are trained and will not experience a sense of burden when you talk to them about what's going on in the way maybe some of the people in your family might. I really do encourage you to reach out, look for help. There are things out there that we can find to try to resolve some of that hopelessness where it doesn't involve ending your life. And I really hope that you remind yourself that you matter and that you deserve assistance, no matter what your internal dialogue says about that. And I will make sure that those resources are also in the description. That caught me massively off guard, but it makes sense. They may have rage. I don't know. There's nothing V could have done. There is nothing that V could have done. And V in this moment needs to make sure that his inner dialogue is, I did everything I could. I talked to him. That decision that he just made was his to make. I am not responsible for that decision. So many people will hold themselves responsible for that, will walk down this going, it's my fault that that guy just did that. No. That guy is at fault for that decision. And I don't mean that in a mean and malicious way. It's just how that works. He is responsible for that decision. I don't know that there's much reason for V to go back, Alto. It's a good question. I mean, I suppose you could. If you wanted to call and try to get assistance and say what happened, you certainly could. V could also walk away. It's entirely up to him. It could be traumatic for V to go in there. It kind of depends on where your mental fortitude is with these types of things and how trained you are. I personally, Ryan, I could go back in that room and be okay. But there are some folks where it would legitimately behoove you to walk away. To walk out of that building and to call for emergency services and say, hey, I heard a gunshot in this guy's apartment and I really think somebody needs to come out. You do not have to be a hero and push yourself past your boundaries here in this moment. Especially if you're not qualified for it. I appreciate y'all being here. This is a hard conversation. This is a really heavy conversation to basically end the stream on. But it's an important one. I do realize I just stole money from all these people that was in that chest. We take some liberties in video games. Wouldn't do that in real life.
Yo. Is it true what they say?
that you're a deserter? If I gotta be associated with you, I need to hear it straight. Cause I'm Stars and Stripes for life. Feel me?
Yeah, went AWOL, it's true. What they won't tell you is that I did it out of hate.
Firearms to advance through traffic is prohibited by the law.
Thanks, V. Couldn't have been easy, but you handled it like a pro. Job done, contract closed.
I would expect her to be calloused. She wasn't there, but it would be important for me to get her up to snuff on what happened, because... Yeah, I remember giving the bad news about my dad as social worker he was seeing, and her response sounded like she was not surprised very much. Not sure she said it explicitly, but yeah. There are times where we have the thought of, like, if it's not if, it's probably when. And that can be pretty hard. I'm really sorry to hear that. Alright, I know that we ended on a little bit of a heavy note here. But I really appreciate VOD watchers. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. I seriously make sure you use the resources that are available to you. In my Discord, I have a whole bunch of hotlines and help sources available if you need them. And I really encourage you to take advantage of that. There are people, I'm serious, there are people out there who are willing to help and who will listen to what you have to say. Suicide touches a lot of people, and it can be a very difficult topic, and I appreciate that you give me the ability to talk us through that. I hope me talking through that is helpful in some way. Again, check out A Conversation About Suicide. It's a video that I have available on my YouTube channel if you want to learn a little bit more about my experience and a little bit more about my perspective from both a personal and a professional standpoint. I think it's a really good video for folks to watch if you haven't. We need to be able to talk about suicide. It's very important that it's not taboo. It needs to be something that we don't encourage more people to kill themselves by talking about it. In fact, we actually can buffer it from happening if people feel okay talking about the fact that they may want to end their life. So I appreciate all of you so much. Please leave a comment if you'd like. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. On Thursdays, I'll be live during the afternoon, but I'm generally live. I'm live on 9:30 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I appreciate your support of my content. Make sure you follow me on all the social media and pop into our Discord. We would love to have you there. And I will very much look forward to part 19. We'll probably start getting on some of the main storylines again. I just wanted to knock out a few more side quests. So thank you as always, and I will catch you in part 19.